The following hedge fund video has been brought to you by the HFG. The hedge fund group provides premium service, along with online training and certification for hedge funds, called the Certified Hedge Fund Professional, also known as the CHP designation.
Hello, this is Richard Wilson, and today we're going to talk about something I spoke about at a recent networking event on the concept of cow paths, and basically, is your hedge fund walking down a cow path, or are you creating a new superhighway for how you act and how you get things done and execute your plans? And this is an idea that I picked up while I was at a recent Evan Pagan conference in Los Angeles on marketing, and it's something that I think can be applied to any industry, but is really useful to hedge fund managers. In the hedge fund industry, you can learn things by reading articles online, you can learn things by reading books, you can learn things by talking to other hedge fund managers, but there are no really great transparent tools for learning about the best practices, about what your competitors are doing. And what happens is that there's these, not myths, but there's these common ways of doing things which get kind of built up in the industry. So for example, people often believe, you need 2-3 years of a track record, then you go hire a third-party marketer, and then you can get up over $100 million in AUM, and then grow your hedge fund up to $1 billion in 7 or 10 years. And what happens is that people, mostly based on limited knowledge, and maybe limited experience in running a hedge fund or marketing a hedge fund or working within one, they see a path that most people are taking, and they just follow that path. And that path may lead them to the left, and then lead them to the right, and then the left, and then way off to the left, and then back towards their goal. But they follow that because that's where the path is, that's where people in front of them are going. And there's a interesting story in Boston, where I used to live. All of the streets in Boston are actually simply cow paths, which the city decided to pave over. So throughout downtown Boston, the streets were actually constructed by cows, and now everybody drives on the streets where the cows had decided to walk, and there's humans following the paths of cows. And the point is, if an intelligent human had sitting down at the blank canvas, they never would have created the streets to be the same as cow paths. And this can be a great analogy for running your own hedge fund business, your own hedge fund career, for raising capital. Look at your end goal, look at what resources and things you have on hand, and see if there's a direct route of going towards your goal, so that you don't just blindly follow what others have done, that you don't listen to 1 or 2 pieces of advice and base your whole business on that. Be more creative, be innovative, take best practices from other industries, things that work very well in marketing or management or risk management in other industries, and try applying that to what you're doing so you can go more straight from A to B instead of wandering around where others have in the past that may or may not have worked for them. So that's something that our business is really trying to take advantage of in everything we do, with the training we do, the video resources, the articles we write. Kind of forget what everyone else is doing for a minute and look at what your goal is and see how you can get directly to that goal a little bit faster. And an example of that could be in capital raising. Instead of going to a third-party marketer after 2 to 3 years, why don't you at year 1 maybe start training an internal resource or 2, so that by year 2 or 3 they have learned about your fund, they've learned about what types of investors to approach, they have received some training, and by the time that your fund is actually ready to market to new investors and it actually looks appealing to them, you already have relationships in place, you don't have to hire an outside party and share fees, and you have more control over who you market to, and you can know that somebody's actually marketing your fund full time. There's no trade-offs between them marketing other funds and your fund at the same time. That's just one example of something that's very rarely done with the managers that I see and work with and hear from, but it's an example of not following a cow path and going more direct towards the goal that you need to achieve. So I hope this piece of advice helps. It's been very useful and practical for our business to keep this always in mind, and thanks for your time.